I used to tell my girl, if Saquon wanted me, he could have me, babe. Like I'm like, listen, it got homoerotic when it comes to
You
Saquon.
could be so mad when I make this your intro clip on the episode. No context.
No, make it. It's fine. I want the internet to know he could have had me.
We have to get out of this mindset of we have to catch somebody on camera saying an N-word for it to be racist. We have to be more complex than that. The NFL literally argued that black players should get less money in concussion settlements because we weren't intelligent enough.
Imagine it being a black boy doing this to a white boy getting drafted. They would have ripped that boy apart, saying that he stole this moment.
Why do you feel like it's not about race? A couple of my closest friends have been like, yo, being me is exhausting, man. I just want to watch a game.
You want to talk about every thing about those men and those players except their welfare. While, yes, everybody is entitled to you want to watch a game, it's irresponsible to think I'm going to invest and care about every aspect of this except the ways in which it perpetuates anti-blackness and puts the foot on the backs of these men that are forced to carry these balls across the field for these white men. Beautiful black people.
What up, what up, what up?
Yeah.
Let me tell you why I've gathered you here today. Oh, and it is very specific. I spent this weekend mad as over so shockingly invested in when the Shador Sanders was getting drafted. And I'm like, it was infuriating about when you see such a wild level of display of I'm a humble this nigga is seeing. I expect this from white people. The NFL still, I expect that from them, even though that blew my mind. Is unprecedented the way they carried on. But to see other black people, like specifically black men who love football so much that they feel like they can't acknowledge that there's racism in football or they can't enjoy it. So they sitting there, they do this thing where it's like, I watch football and I love football, so racism has nothing to do with it or whatever. And they're repeating the exact line of thinking that is anti-black. They're like, oh, he needs to be humbled. Look at his chains. Look at his da-da-da-da-da. Like, he needed to be taught humiliated. It's like, why do you feel that way? Like, why do you feel like it's incumbent upon this white corporation to humble and shame and humiliate this black man and for him to get to not get what he deserves or what he's talented and qualified for because they have a problem with the kind of black man he shows up as? Infuriating. And also I want to say before I turn it over to the room, I see a bunch of people to just, and I guess you want to be positive, trying to be like, oh, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, like he gets drafted, don't matter where he gets drafted. That's a lie. That's not the same. Like in law school, yeah, it doesn't matter where your ranking is, like you graduate, you could be a lawyer regardless. The money differences between being a first round pick and a round 5 in astronomical. And I felt like I needed to put my foot up the ass of the man that was talking this particular kind of shit because my beloved is in a group chat with some ignorant ass. I mean, ignorant, loud and ignorant. That was like, race has nothing to do with it. They said racism, you trying to bring racism into the draft. They were like, look at all these black men that are in the NFL. Black men, we're saying in the group chat that the presence of black men in the draft and the presence of black men in the NFL means that racism is not there. And they were I'm telling you, these had my beloved outnumbered in the group chat. And I said, oh, nah, I'm going to kick them back in for tens of thousands. I said, I won't let it stand. So to the room.
You got Shedeur Sanders falling in the draft was the funniest shit ever. Because from a football standpoint, I was watching like, all right, when the Giants, I'm like, all right. At first, my first thought, he was going to go at 9 to New Orleans. He didn't go at 9. I was like, all right, cool. All right, maybe they had some questions, comments, concerns. All right. He's still the first, though. When the Giants traded up at the end of the first, I thought, okay, the Giants need a quarterback for sure. And the Giants took if you don't know football, y'all know they took Daniel Jones with aura. It's the same as that quarterback they just got rid of, but this one has an arm sleeve. This is the only difference. I'm like, it's the same kind of archetype, tall white boy, went to a southern SEC school. I'm like, it's the same as that guy you just got rid of that you had on contract for 5 years and said, no, give us that round 2. It didn't go into the second round. I thought, okay, for sure, some team's going straight up to the top of the second. It's a value pick. At this point, this is the limit of my football mind. By the way, the sirens. The limit of my football mind was All right, maybe you get, okay, it's a good value pick. You get him in the second, pay him a little and less extra money. Okay, I can see that. Whatever. If he's falling already. But the moment we get out of day 2, that's when I'm like, oh, this is, they want to show this, little black boy who's the boss. And they see him being braggadocious and confidence, and the fact that he does have a rich father that gives him confidence and gave him all the things he needed, the tools to be successful, not just athletically, but the mindset. It's like, no, we can't have you coming into this league like this. We can't have you do that. So they let him slip. All the way to the 5th round. All the way to the 5th round. And the team that drafted the Cleveland Browns, not only from a football standpoint, I was talking about this offseason, the Cleveland Browns spent 3 draft picks on quarterbacks. Not making. Before the draft started, they traded for my Eagles, the backup quarterback Kenny Pickett, Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett. They traded a 5th round pick for him. In the 3rd round, they took Dylan Gabriel, which is shorter Drew Brees. This guy's like, he's listed at 5'11". Really, he like 5'8". He went to 3 different schools. He's not that good. But also, he played in the Oregon offense, and the Oregon offenses are made to like put up big passing numbers. But a lot of it is like short screen passes, not a lot of throwing the ball down the field. So the same questions they would have about Shedeur, which is like arm talent, like can he get the ball down the field? The same questions they have about Dylan Gabriel in a smaller package. They took him in the 3rd, and then in the 5th to double down on Shedeur. It's like, so the question was not do we need a quarterback? Because if teams weren't taking quarterbacks at all, we could have a conversation of this was a weak quarterback draft, and it was. This quarterback draft was weak. Many experts would tell you that the number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward, in last year's draft would have been like the sixth overall quarterback. So this quarterback draft was weaker. It was a weaker quarterback draft. So if teams weren't taking quarterbacks at all, I could see the Shedeur slide being talked about. It's just like, it's a bad one. It's things happen like this. But because teams were taking quarterback, and a team that drafted him already spent 2 picks before him on quarterbacks, it's like, this is just racism. But you couldn't, but you couldn't miss out on the value of getting that kind of talent later in the draft, which is it's an abuse of power, is what it is. These white men inside these rooms just feel power hungry. Like I am the guy that makes the decisions. But truth be told, you're going to lose your job in 3 years because of decisions like this.
Yeah, I was gonna, if I just jump in real quick, I'm a little out of my depth when it comes to the sports conversation, but I've just always thought that any draft, I've always thought the optics of that shit was weird to me. Like, it's giving, I don't know, maybe I'm a little too high yellow to say this, I have this opinion, but it's giving auction block to me a little bit.
No, it is.
And it's weird as hell. Like, just the optics of it is like, hold on, like even the verbiage too, like such and such got traded. So like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, these are human beings, bro. I don't feel good about that shit sometimes. Like, I'm just
and it's worse when you see it.
Yeah.
It's worse when you see it. I actually watched though. Here's how I f***ed up my own weekend. I wanted to see Shador get drafted. So me and CJ, we got home. It already started. We have YouTube TV, like where we could rewind it. We were like, oh, let's see. Like, it was like hours something in. We were like, CJ was like, oh, he's probably towards the front. Like, we got to rewind to the front of the draft. So we watching a whole motherfucking thing. And we're like, what the going here? And so because of this, I'm watching the whole thing, and I'm like, this shit is worse than I ever imagined. It was worse than first of all, the digging up of everybody, like, please give me a most traumatic story, whatever you think you've got going on. Oh, it's absurd. Like, you're really looking at, it's like really these white men in these suits around the tables discussing like that. I'm like, oh, this is despicable. And I think that's the thing. It's like the optics and inherently what it is. And so much of like, and the NBA has these same problems too, is this desire. It's so built into it, the idea that we need to be able to control this man for however much time or whatever. We need to be able to control him, what we think he's in. And the amount of discussions, they're not even trying to hide it, I think, is what I have a problem with. It's like the comfortability that they have with letting the narrative be that this ain't got nothing to do with his skill set. Oh, him not being humble enough, his person, and the fact that they could all publicly talk about that because they're aware that the society at large is like, yeah, okay with that. They know there's going to even be a lot of Black people that are like, yeah, that makes sense. And that to me is what bothers me most about the entire thing, is like the shamelessness of, oh yeah, they should be so grateful. It's so clear.
I was actually just talking about this on my show, Like It or Not, just a few minutes ago. I'm like, but ooh, I don't want to make this political, but I got to. And I think because in our current climate, right? Remember when the first reign of Donald Trump, and it's almost like he let these people, they were doing this already before. The whole system was so racist already, but this man done let these people, he told them to get them boys in line when Colin Kaepernick had the audacity to kneel. They was like, oh, this man needs to be humbled. He ain't even 100% white, and we need to humble his behind. So Donald Trump told them teams to get their boys in line. They should not be doing any of that. And then I remember called him a son of a bitch. And that was our president of the United States, who started to utilize this verbiage when speaking about especially these black athletes, because they were the ones causing the most noise at that time in the NFL. And what we've seen since then, I feel like, and as I was talking to you about it yesterday, that whole idea of buck breaking has been a thing. And now we're seeing it. They ain't even trying to hide it. They like, nigga, stay in line. And so many people who love sports, the conversation, because they some hating dudes that never made it past whatever in high school, they want to get in and be like, man, it ain't because he's black. That's how, Pete, they do this all the time. And if y'all don't know nothing about that. And then on top of that, what really is problematic, because it still has to do with race, is the little white boy who got into daddy's equipment, iPad just laying around, the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons coordinator, and broke into that. Like, I'm making Shador's experience already ridiculous, right? And they're making it worse. Breaking into that, taking his phone number during a live. We know this is a draft. We know all eyes on this young man, Shedeur. And Jax Ulrich, whatever, the little white boy, that's the son of the Atlanta Falcons coordinator, got that boy's phone number, which was a number that was given to Shador from Boost specifically for the draft. Got that phone number, called him on live television, had a phone call with him, basically, a prank call telling him that he was drafted or whatever it was. He got nothing happened. And they were like, oh, Shador took that on the chin. He's mature and how he reacted. He had to be that way. Okay. This black young man had to be that way as we're watching him get drafted. And that white boy that did that got nothing.
I didn't know we knew who did it. I didn't know. I thought we didn't know the identity of it. But that it speaks to that desire to humiliate him. Like,
do you?
For context, though, the NFL has fined
$250,000. Yes, I know. And then fined the boy's dad $100,000. But the Atlanta Falcons themselves, I know but they got the money, right? This is not even, it's nothing to them. I'm talking about, like, there's nothing for the boy that did it. This was so problematic. Imagine it being a black boy doing this to a white boy getting drafted. It would have been some kind of scene, they would have ripped that boy apart, saying that he stole this moment. And I this is a reinforcing to me of, like, these narratives of the black athletes, right? He needs to be humbled. I get to embarrass him because of this conversation already that was going on, that he needed to be humbled. So me, as my dad is the coordinator for the Falcons. I got his number. I'm going to record this. So this was already a strategy. This was already premeditated, recorded and posted to embarrass him. And you telling me black folks are still on the hook? It ain't racist. It was, it's just not.
They're not.
Yeah.
It's so crazy because, to what I was seeing in CJ's group chat, is they're claiming it's not racist. And I'm talking about the black people that are saying this. Like, yeah, we know what the whites and the racists are doing or whatever. But they know what's happening, right? They're explaining. They're like, no. It's not about racism. It's because of who his daddy is. It's because he's not humble. It's because they need to humble him. They're like breaking down all the things that's racist, but they just refuse to accept. Like, when you tie it together, like,
folks, like, we have to get out of this mindset of we have to catch somebody on camera saying an N-word for it to be racist. Like, we have to be more complex than that. Like, we are still at a point in society where people have to hear you explicitly, like, well, no, he said thug. Well, no, he said cocky. No, he said arrogant. No, he said no, like, people would still probably argue Donald Sterling, I think that was his name, wasn't racist with what he said as a Clippers owner. So, like, for me, I come into this, I'm a Kaepernickist, I don't know what you want to phrase it, But I'm a Bears fan, so that's another reason why I don't pay attention as much, because we ain't never winning nothing. but since Kaepernick's situation, I remember the season after, I didn't watch anything. Like, I legit didn't watch it. And because I got out of that habit, honestly, I stopped kind of caring. So I'll check out maybe the Super Bowl, or I'll check out ESPN, the highlights and the discussions and everything, but I'm not as vested into it. So, and then also too, like, you understand how they colluded against this black man who did not even say a word about his protest against racism until they asked him, but he was silently protesting. He took a knee. He didn't go out there. He wasn't demonstrative. He didn't go out there waving a sign. He didn't go out there with the Black Power fist. He sat down and he took a knee, and all of these owners got together, essentially, whether they had a meeting or not behind the scenes, and said, we ain't, this brother, we're not signing him. We never again. Never forget for them, right? And he didn't even have enough support outside of folks like Eric Reed, where nobody spoke up on behalf of him for the most part. Like we ain't even talking about 100% of the black players. We talking a small percentage, not even 10%, spoke up and said, that's wrong. They like that right there is emasculating. We talk about what emasculating, that's emasculating. You speaking up for black people and they telling you can't do that here. You already playing a sport where your life expectancy is going to be less. We got brothers dropping like flies after they play in this league. Contracts that's barely guaranteed. You putting your life on the line for this game. A game that, honestly, bro, when you take a step back, and thankfully I don't have any sons that have to deal with this conversation, but it's crazy game. We running full speed at each other. Running full speed with your heads colliding with each other. It's entertaining, but it's wild. And again, who's putting their life on the line more than any other group? It's us for this. Because we talked about this before last time I was on here. This is something that's fed to us as a way out. Whether we love the sport or not, you don't forget school. If I'm big, I can do football. You ain't even got to be like the most athletic person. If you take up space and you train well on blocking, they'll find a position for you. That when they see you in the hallways in schools, they're going to stop you and say, young man, have you considered football? Not have you considered going to law school? So like when I consider all of that, and I wasn't paying attention to the draft, but then I woke up wanting to see where our brother was drafted. I was like, this man still ain't drafted yet. So now I'm starting to pay attention. And what do I see at the same time, right? We got to talk about the fact that the NFL was receiving money, or still is. I don't know if it still is, but they were receiving money from the government to promote the military. So as I'm watching this, I'm seeing them stop the draft to salute the troops. And I got respect for people that put their life on the line trying to make a better way. Most of the people I know that are doing it because they want to be able to provide for their family, not because they are patriotic, right? And that shouldn't even be a thing. You shouldn't have to do that. But they stopping to do that. There's random flag, like this whole, and random brothers coming up saying, I want to thank the troops. Like, bro, we ain't here for that. So I say all that to connect it to, you ain't even got to be explicitly political. Your very presence is political in this country. Shedeur ain't said he ain't got to say nothing about nothing, but just the fact that he is not acquiescing to the prototype that they want, that's already enough for them to not like you. If he was a wide receiver, he probably would have won the first round. They expect that. Let him do that as a wide receiver because he ain't gonna be the leader. They don't.
That's another element to it, that they don't want black quarterbacks. Like that's another thing about the setup against black quarterbacks and weeding out. I listen a lot to CJ talking in the house.
We more than have.
Yeah, I wanted to point out something Ernest said just now, is like your existence is inherently political in this country, right? So with that in mind, like, do you feel like maybe some of the ignorance that we get from, you know what I mean, from black folks, like, do you feel like part of that is like, just like, because I've spoken to my friends about like, okay, well, why do you feel like it's not about race? And like a couple of my closest friends have been like, yo, bro, being me is exhausting, man. I just want to watch a game. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, being black is already like, I gotta live in my skin, bro. I just want to sit down and watch a game, bro. You know what I mean? And and that's what I'm saying. So it's like, how much? Yep. So it's like, you know, do we?
I want to feel.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like we want to, because we should be able to, especially you playing a game, you should be able to be separate from that.
Yeah.
But we never are. We're always we want to feel free through that entity, which still prioritizes and commodifies our body.
Yeah.
That's not primarily owned by us. We want to feel free through that. but we're still viewed through that same lens. The very policing, like, I mean, the fact that he can feel comfortable or is made to not feel comfortable being himself. We have internalized so much out of those white respectability politics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like it shouldn't be the political thing. We want to escape from that. But the fact that we are here and we're still working under that entity means that it is. And I think that we ain't expecting everybody to be, you know, an outspoken activist, but you have to have a certain baseline to me, or be able to consult and defer to somebody so you know how you view. Look at Jaylen Brown and what he's doing. Look at if Jaylen Brown wasn't that good, he wouldn't be in the NBA no more. Jaylen Brown said, I'm about to be rebuild Black Wall Street in Boston. He's already facing backlash for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like sometimes it is definitely just like, man, I'm not trying to hear that. And like, I understand. And I'm like, that's unfortunate, but I get it. But then other times it's like, yo, I'm just trying to watch this game. And like, I feel like we're too quick to vilify the other side when really it's just like, all of us are not equipped to have that conversation. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yo, this is about race actually. And it's like, man, nah, I'm not trying to hear all that. It's like, okay, no, but here's why you should. And then you get that pushback and then like you end up not seeing eye to eye.
I think in general, I understand needing escapism, right? I fully get that. And I don't think, just like I don't think all Black people have to be activists. I don't think we have the space, the capacity to do that. We're busy dealing with life. Life is hard. I fully understand not wanting to always be confronted with the extra stressors of what is being Black, right? However, when it comes to the people who make your escapism, who make that possible, for that there is, it's incumbent on you to care in some way what is happening to the people, to the people that make this possible. And in the case of football is even worse than like or I think the responsibility is even greater, is what I should say, than you have for like a TV show or whatever have you, all these other like escapism avenues or music, whatever have you. The reason why football isn't just the labor, the majority of what's being made up here, which is not there is physical labor. They are putting themselves at a physical detriment, at a loss, at irreparable like harm. These are people who I don't even believe the NFL covers health insurance for them after they stop playing football, right? So they are putting themselves like in physical danger, right? To do something, to do this sport for you. And the issue that I have with a lot of the men that I hear say this, like specifically like the Black men that have this energy towards, I just want to watch a game, I just want to have fun. The amount of energy those same men are willing to invest in watching every game, every highlight, every commentary, every podcast, every fantasy football, everything. They on the phone. I know this. My man is in a group of them. They on the phone all day, every day, trading this, assessing, yada, 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 yada. You want to talk about every thing about those men and those players except their fucking welfare. That is a problem, especially when it's not just the football players you're looking at. It's so much larger than that, because the few that you see get there in the NFL, there are countless thousands, if not millions more who are being raised by other people in the society that's pushing towards them that too. So you have to care about how this industry is exploitative and how it's anti-Black, because it's not just affecting, the handful of players you don't want to care about that you think are just like toys for your escapism. It is affecting your community at large. It's being pushed in that direction. So I think, while yes, everybody is entitled to, you want to watch a game, it's irresponsible to think I'm going to invest and care about every aspect of this except the ways in which it perpetuates anti-Blackness and puts the foot on the backs of these men that are forced to carry these balls across the field for these white men. That's what I think.
Come on now. Like, we want to be free from it. Our physical prowess and ability won't free us. To your point, like, we want to escape, right? We shouldn't have to always be bombarded with this, but your ability to dribble a ball or throw a football will not free you from this. And in fact, it'll make you more, it'll make you more reliant on this system. Like, we want to escape from this, but 10, 15, 20 years ago, they ain't even see you as intelligent enough to be a quarterback. The NFL literally argued that Black players should get less money in concussion settlements because we weren't intelligent enough. This was settled a few years ago. This ain't something that's recent. We have face masks that are widespread in football now because a Black player who played for Drake University, when he played in Oklahoma, they tried to kill that man on the field. That's why you wear face masks. So we want to eliminate politics from this, but politics ain't eliminating itself from everything you exist in. They want you to be a running back so you run yourself to the ground and have a 3-year lifespan in football and not have anything the rest of your life. Black men already dying at 67. It's less in some places. You playing football or you a professional wrestler, bro, you might be done at 50. So like, like to the point we all making, I understand the need to want to, but the thing that's going to free us is this right here. And if we come into those spaces with that physical prowess and this, that's when we are truly doing what we need to be doing, because the conversation is different then.
The conversation that the person in your friend group is having is so damn ignorant. And the only thing that they're saying is it's not racist or whatever. I want you to be able to check them in a way where you're, educating them, because they may not understand why this is racist, for one, or why they can't look at it for what it is. If we don't call it out, you talked to me about that, Olay, about a situation we were talking about, and I was like, no, find another way. You were like, we got to call it out to make a change, sis. We gotta, the only way that we can make a change is if we talk about it, because then every dude out here is going to go harder in conversations. Y'all know how y'all get in conversations where it's about sports, baby, it's tough. You act like they paying you playing for the team. And so it's like, they're going in like, no, Shador, he need to be humble. He need to be humble. He need to shut up, sit down, and be humble. Right?
I gotta post a black man. I gotta show y'all this post because I saved it because I said I know this is, I know he lying, and let me find it right now because it blew my.
And just sorry, real quick for the record, I don't feel that way. It's just
I didn't
for the.
Yes, we know. We know.
Now you proposed the question.
It's for the slew of comments that I already know is gonna be like, yo, but what if I just want to watch? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just to address them people, because I know
it's coming.
Yeah.
I won't mind. Let me tell you what I don't mind. I do not mind people who are like, they don't see that initially, or they just want to watch it, like, or they acknowledge it, but they just like, I don't want to have that conversation. That's so different than racism has nothing to do with shut the fuck up and stop trying to ruin this. I'm telling you, was putting their foot up my back on the week. Like I was, what is this? I was like, and I was really blown away because it's something, it's environment, right? Because I was listening, they were so bold because they were the majority. Like he really was outnumbered, like 10 dumb to 1. And I was like, yo, and I was telling him, I was like, there's nothing you could say. It didn't matter what he did. I was like, you can't beat dumb and then the majority, because now like they're all jumping, you know what I mean? Like they don't care what you say. There's nothing you can say. I was like, all I can do is recoup this on Olay and Friends, because if they was there, woo, that first racism has nothing to do with it. They'd have been dead on arrival. Like,
I love that this podcast only exists because hubby got his back kicked. This podcast,
absolutely.
We were all arranged. We are the Avengers of defending hubby. This is
on God. I might text it to these like, don't ever play them again. They lucky I don't hit pause and insert screenshots for the video. Like, no, I'm telling you, I was like, oh my God, what is this environment?
With the sport,
I just want to read y'all this crazy post from this black man. I'm gonna spare his name, even though he ain't deleted or anything, but he posted on Threads. Shedeur Sanders is learning something his pappy didn't teach him, and that's how to remain caps lock humble. As talented as he is, I believe the headache that would come with him is the problem. If I was an NFL team owner, I wouldn't want to be bothered with the drama. Did you see that chain he wore the first night of the draft? Oh, he just knew he was going in the first round. That young man would succeed whenever he's given it the chance. But first, eat a couple slices of humble pie, son. I said,
Jason
these
Whitlock?
the niggas.
Jason Whitlock?
No, bro, comedian Sean Harris.
Why is image only ever brought up with black athletes? Why is that? Or black people in any profession? I don't know if you remember. You remember that viral video of that pilot? He looked like Fat Tyga. I call him Fat Tyga because he looked like Tyga but fat. And he had with the locks? He had the fresh retwist. He had the diamond teeth, and he was like, "Yo, just landed in Atlanta. It's like we blessed to be alive. You know what I'm saying? God first, whatever, right?" Pilot, successful pilot. Everybody, I wouldn't trust that. I don't know if I trust this guy to fly my plane. And I'm like, why is that only ever an issue
Yeah.
when it's black
It's
folks.
respectability
Like,
politics. You gotta look a certain way. You gotta the fact that Shedeur doesn't look a certain way. You gotta realize the fact that Shedeur is in fact a nepo baby. Is in fact comes from a very good household. His father is a rich, famous athlete and doesn't have the aesthetics that you expect. Doesn't carry himself the way a Bronny James would, but carries himself as they would call it, too urban or too hip hop. It's like, this is no. We stopped drafting guys like you. You gotta think about, like, the NFL is currently trying to put somebody like Jalen Hurts, my quarterback, Super Bowl champion Jalen Hurts, Super MVP Jalen Hurts. They're currently trying, because Jalen Hurts is the model Negro for what a black quarterback should look like, in a sense. He's like very humble, very
He
clean
listens to
cut,
Frankie
nice
Beverly and
goatee.
Maze, married.
Frankie Beverly,
you know.
like, oh, so. But at
But
the
he
same
also
time,
ain't going to the White House and checking and
I'm about
jiving
to
like
say, at the same
Saquon, who I
time-
do plan to kick his back in before we leave today.
I was about to say, at the same time, Jalen Hurts has a strong moral compass that doesn't allow himself to do stuff like go hang out with Donald Trump, unlike Saquon. So it's like, but it's still just the aesthetics. It's how do you present? These white folk, I keep saying, I know y'all gonna blink it out. These white folk is afraid of how we look, not who we are, but how we look. The presentation of it is this. I think something that we all learn, black men learn very, 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 very early on in our lives is like, I can be in the same neighborhood in two different outfits, but I would get different responses based on outfits.
Mhm.
If I go outside inside my business casual slacks in a polo, yeah, I mean, people are walking up to me like, "Oh, how you doing today, young man?" But I go out there in my 7-inch shorts and my Eagles jersey. You know what I mean? Niggas like, oh,
they're like, is that
might be
Beans?
one of those guys. Yeah. Oh shit, me. Here, I'm saluting too. I'm like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, I mean? But no, it's different. It's different. Real quick before we move on, and I do want to kick Saquon back in because that's my goal. Y'all said some things, and I'm a big NFL guy. Obviously, I wanted to make sure that we had some context so y'all don't get killed in the comments because I have it. Olay said these don't get health insurance. The NFLPA does offer health insurance after 5 years of service. So you play 5 years and you get health
So
insurance.
they now when they start doing that.
Most I think it's been for the last decade. I think for the last decade. But
Okay.
by the way, the average career life is only 3 years. So most not getting it. I just want to get this all
point,
context.
though.
I know.
Because I was like, I know I listen to my nigga after he explained this at length.
No, I'm with y'all. Also, Rebecca brought up the white boy calling Shador. I want you to know this happens damn near every year at the draft. There is a player who gets prank called.
Hold on.
No, last year was Cooper DeJohn, white boy from Iowa.
It's beautiful.
So
it happens every year, but that's my point about saying it. I think I said that in the my show earlier. I don't care if it happened for whatever reason. You got to understand the problem about it. People can't. That's the same thing about people saying these is too humble, right? They be say that about all these little nepo babies or whatever. They're going to find an issue. But to say that it happens every year, I understand what you're doing. You know, you got to fact check for the people in the comments. I don't care about the people in the comments. The problem literally is that it should not be an excuse to say that this happens every year. We got to talk about why it's an issue that it happened, period. I don't care if it happened one time, a million times. What the thing is that they're going to keep this is a prank call for somebody that they're saying is too bold, is too loud, and he need to shut up in these white spaces, right?
But every year it isn't that though. Every year it isn't that. And I understand for the Shedeur situation, they were definitely making fun of him personally. Shedeur became he was a mocking point for white Republicans and all of those people. But every year it's not.
I think it's wrong. Let me just be clear. I think it's wrong. Period. Like a period to do that to niggas.
I think it's funny. Period. Most years.
I don't think it's funny. I think it's actually wrong.
To me either.
CJ has a little story that he loves to tell. If he actually. CJ!
You don't think prank calls funny?
CJ did some them shit like that to his friend, and every time he tell a story with glee on his face, I'd be like, "These."
Wait, I'm so sorry. Can we explain? Can we explain the prank call, like what that is, like just as a like culture, like in the football culture?
Okay, so what happens is during the draft, before a player is drafted, the team usually calls the player like, "Hey, buddy, we're going to take you with this next pick right here. Be ready." Da 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 da. That's usually what happens. But sometimes a player number would get out. For example, Cooper DeJohn last year with the Iowa, young like 21-year-old kid. A bunch of people had his number, so people just called him during the draft and was like, hey, cuz about to get drafted. And his whole family got hyped and then he didn't get drafted. It's usually a very funny thing to just do to somebody. Listen, men are cruel sometimes. To me, I love it.
That's
This
not
year particularly
but
wish.
first of
No,
all,
it's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's
I
hilarious.
would-
I'm not gonna. Men are bad people. I don't care. I say it. But like
Could
that's
you
actively
like-
hilarious.
I think someone probably gotta die for that for y'all to understand that is murder worthy. Like, because I don't know why y'all not seeing that as murder worthy. Because like
You still
the
get
draft,
drafted.
right?
Shador is
Like,
different though.
I'm thinking about who didn't get into law school and med school and stuff, and the level of crash out and shit that was like. I could only imagine. I could only imagine a tell you passed the bar for you to find out you failed. You know what I mean? Like, I would murder you for that. Like, that is you deserve to die for that. TJ, I need you to tell them when you pretend. Oh, hi, Cleophas. I need you to tell them about when
Thanks,
you
TJ.
made Kendall think you were a college. Yes.
He got to take his hair down.
He said, I was not ready to be on camera, but you got to tell the story. Because you're being wicked.
Quick story. My senior year of high school, my senior year summer of high school football, I had an injury to my shoulder, so I was not able to play when we had like a high school 7-on-7, also overnight camp type of thing at Elon University or whatever. And so anyway, I ended up going there. They were there before. I got there later. When I get there, it's super hot. I get there. They give me like an Elon Football University shirt and an Elon University shorts. So already I got like Elon University stuff on. My coach was running one of the things that they had, and he got one of them old like country straw hat coach hats, like, you know, that when it's super hot that you wear and stuff like that. I said, Coach, you got another one of those? He was like, yeah, I do in my truck. Let me go get that. So now I got Elon shirt, Elon football sweats, and I got the hat on. And this was like 2012. So this is when like Otterboxes was cool. So I had a huge ass Otterbox clip on my hip type John. So I just looked like a football coach type stuff. But anyway,
Hilarious. I'm already in.
Anyway, so they break it down into like position groups, and then they break it down into like 7-on-7 competition later, right? So the position group is being ran by the high school coaches individually. So I see where my coach is at. I go stand next to him. He's wearing my high school football gear. I'm wearing Elon University all stuff, right? So I'm chatting it up with him. He's doing like running backs, right? But next thing you know, a kid from another group is jogging over to the running back groups, but I feel like he's staring directly at me. You feel me? So I'm like, Coach, why he looking at me as he running? I'm like, I don't know. As he run over, he huffing and puffing. He like, I'm sorry, sir. I thought the running backs was over there, but that was the receivers, and they told me running backs over here. So I just came in. I just came in late, and there's a pause. So I realized, oh, he talking to me.
He thought you was a scout.
So I say, all right, son, don't let it happen again. Just jump in.
That's hilarious.
I said, just let it.
No. Why you about to get amped up? Now you better get wicked. Watch
This is just the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's about to get way worse. I love you about scholarship.
After that, I let that go. Didn't think anything of it. Me and my coach laughed about it. As we break and go into 7-on-7s, all the teams got to find the different places that they have to go. As I'm walking to find my team, I start hearing hey, coach. Hey, coach. Hey, coach. And it's like getting closer and closer to me. And I look, this is a grown adult now. And a high school coach coming to me like, hey, coach, let me talk to you for a second. I said, oh, this is an adult they got? Oh, hold on now. He came over and said, hey, do you know where such and such school is supposed to be? I'm looking for field A. I don't know what he's talking about. All I say is, I see over there's another coach with like a pamphlet or like a binder of stuff, and everybody's talking to him. I say, hey, go, you see my other coach over there? Go ahead, talk to him. He got all the information you need. He goes, appreciate it. He said, appreciate it, coach. Thank you. I said, oh my God. He think that. Didn't think anything of it. It goes from there. I thought it was just a harmless thing. I'm going to go tell my friends. It goes from there. We're playing 7-on-7. If any of y'all are familiar with football, we're doing this 7-on-7, no pads. It's just helmets. It's like a summer thing. So it's supposed to be like a two-hand touch type of thing. Now, we're playing the 7-on-7, and one of the other teams one of the teams that we're playing is being like aggressive and like tackling. You know what I mean? And like, it's just kind of a thing. Like, if we had pads on, it would be different, but you want to tackle now, that's okay. And they were getting real hype off of such. And we're getting upset. And I said, I seen somebody tackle one person one more time. I said, don't worry about it. I got this.
Nah.
Game's over. I said, I see, let's say number 3 or whatever. I said, hey, number 3, come here right quick. Bolts over. I said, got his ass. I said, all right. He said, how you doing, sir? I said, that's the type of aggressiveness that we like to see here at Elon University.
Wow, boy.
This is the type of aggressiveness we like to see here. Hey, I've already spoke to your coach. I've already spoke to you things like, hey, the last thing we just need to do is like a dinner with your parents and stuff like that. And we're thinking about giving you that offer, son.
Yo, dog.
I'm so sorry. He's like, word.
This
I
is
said,
amazing.
hey. But hey, we're keeping it low right now, so keep it low. When you get back, don't make it too thin, and we'll talk later. He says, yes, sir. He's like, just keep doing your thing. Keep your head up. Keep going.
I'm sad.
He took, as he goes up, I see that he's running to his coach. I immediately get ghosted. I sprint off, disappear. You don't know where I'm at. Like that.
Yeah.
The night I disappeared into the shadows.
Now watch him. Now I'm
So I'm like, I go back to my team. I tell them we're laughing. Now, mind you, this is a bunch of other high schools in the area. All I know is I'm talking to second, third. Next thing you know, I hear with the speaker is Broughton High School. Can you come to the such and such? And immediately, my homeboy plays for Broughton. I'm on his ass. I went there immediately. I had to walk like literally like past 3 football fields to get to him. So like I knew that I was planning this as soon as it came through. So as I'm walking down and I'm pulling up to the field, as I'm walking down, would you believe he caught a pick? I said, oh, this is beautiful.
Perfect time.
He catches the pick. Everybody's hype. I see him. I have to like, I know some of the people on the high school team too. So I literally got to like use like the hat to like cover myself type stuff. So I'm like walking. So I'm like, yo, hey, Sheffield, you hear that? Oh, come over. I said, all right, cool. No, I'm sorry. No, I remember because I came through when I
doing the sides.
No, I can't. I know what I do. I'm sorry. I came through. I seen him on the sideline, and as I saw him on the sideline, he didn't see me, so I came up behind him like on some smooth shit, like put my arm around him, and I had the hat right here, so I had the hat like covering like my so he couldn't see me. So I was like, I came around and said, "Hey, keep your eyes on the field for me, son." He said, "All right, coach." I said, "Listen." I said, "Listen." That's the type of tenacity we like to see on them. Hey, listen, that's the right thing. I said, hey, yeah, we already talked to your coaches, this and that. I said we just need to have dinner with your parents. Robin, right? Miss Robin Sheffield? Because I know his mom.
Oh my God.
And so I was like, he was like, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I said, hey, we're really thinking about making that next offer to you, like to be a part of the football family here at Elon. And I turned and like I like let my arm off to like shake his head, and he said appreciate it. And he looked me in the eye, and you could just see like life,
Bro.
drain.
Look at him.
That's a good prank.
Like,
That's a good prank.
It's
It's a good prank.
a good prank.
Yeah.
That's a good.
It's a good prank.
That's a good.
It's a good prank.
When would I
It's a
ever
good
have
prank.
This is what makes us men.
Yeah, this is a good prank. That's an amazing prank. I don't know, man.
Y'all be good.
Me too, bro.
Right.
The fact that he pulled it off just like instantly like that too, without any prior thought.
Yeah. Nah, he was in too deep. That's what it was. He was in too deep.
Yeah, no,
Look, it makes
sometimes
me
the
sad.
bit
I
is too
can't-
good.
I can't stand a prank. I just can't take it. I'm just like, you're just taking someone's like moment from them now, and that's not even on like, you know, a major level like the NFL. So, you know, when I hear about things like that, moments that are being taken, especially for us, and I think what bothers me, because with Shador, we already know what was happening before, the comments that were being made, the eyes that was on him. Everybody is just like, he doesn't deserve because he's cocky, which to me, that doesn't mean he doesn't deserve. So you still in that moment from him. And people just expecting him to be mature as well. Like if he would have taken it a different way, that would have added to the you're too cocky, you're not humble enough to get, these pranks done to you, that they do them to everybody. So why should you not be subjected to the same thing, type of vibes? And I don't like that. And I don't like that while he was already being judged, that is almost like a place where they're like, if he can't take that, then he shouldn't be in the NFL, right? It gets
Right.
hard. It
They
gets
don't give a fuck
difficult
regardless. They just want to laugh and humiliate him. That's all.
Can we also,
already.
looking at that
Yeah.
situation, to me, what comes to mind is how we coddle white boys in this society. And it's like, oh, boys just being boys. He's just having a little fun. That whole little thing. And on the opposite end, how we expect the adultification of black folks and black men, how we expect them to act and how we are expected to act in certain situations. We have to be the most mature person, the bigger person in these situations. And even too, it has me thinking about within our community, how we are raising our kids and oftentimes to acquiesce to whiteness, or from a perspective of appeasing or not making white folks afraid. Don't scare those white folks. And even though we don't exactly say it, it's the way we teach our kids. Don't wear your hair that way. Don't talk that way. Don't dress that way. When you get in those spaces, talk like this and act like this. And he is the antithesis of, that's what Deion Sanders was, the antithesis of that. And the fact that Deion is still successful bothers them. I was thinking of like the impact that Deion has is like Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan never really wanted to speak up about things. So Michael Jordan's impact now was just in fashion. He ain't gonna say nothing else. He just cooler than the cut. Deion gonna keep talking. Deion did what he did for Jackson State. Now he in a situation in the league now is doing even more. I've heard even talks where people said there may have even been the threat of, what if we draft this kid and Deion starts to say, hey, I might want to coach in the NFL, because Deion could do that if he wanted to. He got that type of pull and that type of ability. So it's even more nuanced than what Shedeur represents. It's what this whole family does, because they ain't getting in trouble off the field. They doing it the way they want to, and they got the braggadocio swag behind it as well. And to me, if you are able to raise your black child to be that self-confident in this system, kudos to you.
That's how I see it.
That's
too.
brilliant. That's a success to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I did. Y'all see the post on Twitter going around? And Aaron could have probably find it. Where it was a viral tweet, and they had like, which I think Cam Ward, and they're like, shout out to, this is what a football player is supposed to be like. Oh, no chains, no this, like just declare racism of it all. And I'm like, that's really what the fundamental problem is there. Like they want a particular kind of black man that they think is going to be meek, grateful, and not rock the boat. Yeah, exactly what it is. And also because Rebecca brought up Trump earlier, what did y'all think about Trump's? Did you see Trump came out? I think he put out a post on Truth Social about Shador.
Talking about, like, yo, I don't know why y'all not drafting this young man. Trump, I think the whole tweet was just like, yo, he's a great man. I know his father. I don't know why the NFL let him slide. Funny enough, I believe the Speaker of the House did a press conference. She was like, all I'm saying is he wasn't drafted. Trump tweeted he got drafted. They try to take credit for Shedeur getting drafted. Very funny stuff happening. It's just actively hilarious. Niggas, they're like, yo, all I'm saying is Big Dog tweeted he got drafted minutes later. I don't know what y'all want me to say about that. That's a real thing she said.
Yeah.
I don't even.
It's so funny.
I don't know. It sounds, that bothers me a lot, because it reminds me of like the whole Twitter thing. And we knew how Donald Trump loves to get, the credit for a lot of these things. Who knows? Like, I'm not trying to be the conspiracy theorist here, but dragging it out until that time, Donald Trump has relationships with these people, and he probably wanted a moment where he got the credit for whatever. I don't
think Donald have anything to do with it.
Big conspiracy theorists.
What I think it is he sees he sees everybody, black people, like upset about this and defending this particular kind of like blackness that they don't like, and it's an opportunity. I think it could cut a bunch of different ways in his favor. I think the reason to do it is like, one, it allows people, and I saw this, like the bots popping up being like, why are you defending him? But he's like Donald. You don't see Donald Trump defending him or whatever. Like it's in order to like, one, kind of turn you against him, like associate him with them, but also it's a nice throwing a bone out, right? Because they like when they feel like they could collect these kind of braggadocious black men that we have typically like loved and defended when people hated them. That's why Kanye was such a, let me trot Kanye out, you know what I mean? Because Kanye was somebody who originally, like what his relationship was with the Bush administration, like, you know, George Bush don't trust black people, and then how people hated him and we were always defending his right to be arrogant and XYZ. And then so it becomes, so I think it was a bunch of different things. I thought he jumped on a moment, you know what I mean? Because I could cut a couple ways for me, but I don't think he actually had anything to do with it, or that he has an existing relationship with Dion or anything like that.
I look at it too, like, I mean, because thinking about the Saquon Barkley situation, I wonder like how that happened. Like who sent who a text? Like when you able to wheel in.
Saquon is clearly a con. I must say, I didn't know that before now. It's new to me. I actually gave Saquon the benefit of the doubt. I didn't even give it to him with his girl's tweets. Because I said, okay, you know, I'm not going. I didn't kick Saquon's back in, but Saquon, and I didn't even go to kick his back in when I saw him at the White House per se. It's the follow up, the explanation of why he went to the White House, and further. That's when I said, "Oh, I know what kind of you are. I know what you are."
He even added that he went to, you know, in his explanation or, you know, his reasons like this. I'm not a political guy. I don't have to talk about what's happening on the right or the left. I just golfed out there with President Obama, former President Barack Obama, like last month or whenever he said. So, I mean, I'm not trying to pick no sides. I'm not trying to do nothing like that. To keep it in that, you know, that same way, like, listen, I'm just trying to golf. It ain't about nothing else.
So for context, sports teams who win championships are always invited to the
White
House.
We know that. We know that.
I think Ernest was like, how the did he get there? I think Ernest was like, why the fuck was he there? I was like, that's what he said. He was like, well, why the fuck he there in the first place? I was like,
well, I'm thinking in terms of like the private, like little, you know what I'm saying, the 18 holes of golf. How did that jump off?
Yeah, no, okay, yeah. Listen, all right, cool. All right, we all know that. Cool. I'm making sure.
Dom said, "Oh God, they don't know nothing. They don't know."
Like, they didn't know.
Dom said, "Oh, let me fact check these niggas again."
It wasn't fact checking. I don't want the comments to be like, these niggas don't know why they was invited. These niggas should be talking about sports.
They come into the White House. Who sent that? Like, yo, Saquon, yo, come over here real quick.
Yeah, that's he's like, yo, how he get there? Like, like he won a championship. That's how he got there. But first of all, Saquon has always been. I've noticed about Saquon. Now I'm not. This is nothing political. I just want to do some funnies. First of all, he's a black man from Coplay, Pennsylvania. I'm from Philly. I don't know a single nigga from there. That's first and foremost. It's not a single nigga from Coplay, Pennsylvania. That's not a place we go. We don't play out in Coplay. So first and foremost, also. Look at his beard. Have you seen his beard? He got a chin only thing going on. It's chin only. But it's not like it's faded neither. It's not like, you know, sometimes you get the fade, the blend.
Yeah.
His barber gave him no blend. It's all chin. It's nasty work. So I just looking at I'm looking at how he look, and I can be like, oh yeah, you first of all, third of all, white woman. Now I'm not somebody who kicks somebody back and outside for white women, but in my house, I'm like, you for white women. So that's already a stat down to me. But I will say this: Saquon Barkley saved my life. So this is me being a sports fan now, and not me being political. I was on the verge of a self-deletion before Saquon joined my Philadelphia Eagles. Did y'all see how many times he ran for 60+ yards last year? So I'm willing to give this coon a pass. As long as he keep breaking off big runs, I don't give a fuck. I don't care, y'all.
You know
That's
what
I'm saying. Like, I'm able to compartmentalize these things. I'm able to be like, okay, cool, you got bad politics, but that boy good. It's like,
you know what? Let me tell you how I know all of y'all, including my beloved out there, is y'all all weak, right? Let me tell you how CJ said in this house, I swear to God, in the same day, in the morning, CJ said, it's over for Saquon Barkley. It's up for that nigga. I can't defend that no more. I don't with Saquon Barkley. And then that evening, CJ said, he looked at me like this and he said, but he is on my fantasy team and I can't trade him though. He said, I can't trade that nigga though. I can't.
Let me tell you, last year for Christmas, the whole season, I was telling me and my girl, we used to go every day. Every Sunday we went to a bar to watch the game together. I used to tell my girl, if Saquon wanted me, he could have me, babe. Like I'm like, listen, it got homoerotic when it comes to
You could be
Saquon.
so mad when I make this your intro clip on the episode. No context.
No, make it. It's fine. I want the internet to know he could have had me. My girl went out her way and for Christmas bought me a Saquon jersey. He's back there hanging up right now. It's over there hanging up. I love that. I wear that man's name on my back. I love that man. Is that man a coon? Yeah, and it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I can't. Listen. I wish I could teach him. Sit down with him. You mean give him some leftist ideals? I'm like, yo, bro, you ever thought about this? I don't know. Have you do you know about neo-feudalism? Do you understand these concepts? But I don't think Saquon will be open to that because his brain is focused on like power plays and like runs. He don't have brain capacity for me to teach him about leftist ideas. So you mean, but that boy good.
Yeah, Dom, that was incredible.
I really appreciate that. Sometimes.
Well, you compartmentalize it well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Speaking of loving like I'm glad you did that. Loving that are problematic, right? So I've had my back kicked in several times on the internet now because Chris Rock was one of my favorite comedians, right? Growing up. Yeah, they turned on him. They turned him a man. Yeah. Like it's officially like it's so crazy. Like it's not just you don't like him as a comedian. It's like I can't be a progressive and like him. Like goddamn, like get off my dick, right? Yeah. But like my household, you have to understand, my parents love Chris Rock. Like I grew up on Chris Rock stand up. Like they quote it like Bible, right? So last night I'm with CJ and our friend Nigel, and I'm like, we looking for something to watch. I said, let me buy Never Scared and let's watch it, right? And because I love this stand up. And every time I know all these bits, like all these jokes word for word, bar for bar, but somehow that's the first time like the misogyny was jumping out at me because these two was sitting there hearing it for the first time in 2025 years. Like, and like 23 minutes in, I looked at them and I said, this is one of those things that's like for me and my family, like I grew up on it, huh? Like it's not hitting the way I thought. I said, it was like, no matter. I see what they're saying.
We all have a person that like I know this for sure. We all have a person that everybody may not like. Now it can't be Kanye, right?
I'm from Chicago. How y'all think I feel?
I'm so sorry, Ernest. I'm so sorry.
I was about to say, everybody go around give they problematic nigga they love. Let's do it.
But Kanye can't be. Like, that's like doing R. Kelly, right? You from Chicago as well. You have goats that's just been real problematic, my brother, over here in Chicago. Okay?
Rebecca.
Yeah, Rebecca. I love how.
Hey, shout out to Lupe.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Lupe. He just making weird samurai albums. He don't bother nobody. But I love Rebecca's such a kind soul. Because this entire time we've been like, yes, evil man stuff, and Rebecca's just here like, I don't know, y'all. I don't like it. It's not for me, and it's just the sweetest disposition to have. But yeah, it's just very nice to see someone so pure.
The nostalgia though, that's why it's like. And I think truthfully, we it seems like in society, we're going to give men leeway with some of this stuff. It seems like, you know what I'm saying? When we even think about like the performances at the inauguration, ain't nobody talking about that no more, man.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody talking about that, right? Like people going to forget about Saquon doing this by the time the season starts. They just won a Super Bowl. People ain't tripping on that. I wish they would continue to bring this up. But
I'm going to bring it up every time he's on the TV.
Yeah.
I'm one of them things. Christmas they was playing me to my mom. Like I'm like that she was rooting for Patrick Mahomes. I was like,
bro, nappy hair, bro, nappy hair, bro.
I was like, you ain't shame.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all gonna leave my queen go it alone.
Wait, so are we doing the problematic fave thing?
Who is your problematic? I think you gotta get away from it.
Okay, because as somebody who is in solidarity with trans people and is very public about his trans attraction, my problematic fave is the entire rap game. And as a rapper, by the way, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of annoying. It's like a rock and a hard place because it's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I really never gave a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's like, because it's like, on the one hand, I'll be like, yo, like, yeah, the dolls be fire. What you want me to do? Yeah, I'm gonna date. The fuck, like I'm sucking whatever she pull out of the bodycon. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
And then
she's
you know what I mean. But then I have a whole ass track with a 5%er. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, so it's,
pick your favorite transphobe right now. Top 5 transphobes of hip hop. Let's do it.
Top 5 transphobes of hip hop is great.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is a video title. That's hilarious. Top
No.
5 transphobes of hip hop would be
You
a
know what I-
fire YouTube video. I can't make it because like I don't want to lose my following, but that'd make you a lot of money off niggas clicking that and
Dom.
outrage. They'll never watch shit else you put out ever again. But
Yeah,
that
they
one
would never watch it
video,
again.
Yeah.
dude, I'd run it up.
But it's unfortunate because I went viral recently for saying just that. Like, yo, what's the problem? Like, if she's fired, do that. It don't matter.
Yeah.
But I just think, just rap in general has just, homophobia, transphobia has been a tactic that they use to blackmail you. They get you in the studio, they give you a little drink, a little smoke, whatever. All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? You feeling a little funky. They pull the camera out. Yo, sign this paper right quick, or sign this paper right quick, or we leaking this out.
Yeah.
You can't use shit like that against me. So naturally,
He said,
you know what I'm saying? Because I'm outside with it. What you want to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. So for me, that's my problematic fave. It's the
whole rap
entire rap game.
Yeah, I mean, all the commercial hip hop. I mean, it's times where you really be listening to a back like, damn, I was really, and so how I compartmentalize and make sense of it is and make an excuse for it is, it gives me nostalgia though. Like it's certain things. Now I'm not gonna listen to the new type. You know what I'm
Right, he
saying?
didn't let go Kanye.
You know
y'all.
what I'm saying?
He didn't let go Kanye.
He's not like
He
Kanye.
let go,
Yo.
Hey, y'all, I'm not gonna.
we talking about Kanye, right? Like,
Y'all,
Y'all
I'm still trying to
don't
process.
trip my boy up.
Yo, I'm still trying to process, like straight up. Kanye changed my thought process when I was going to college, bro. I was in college, and I heard that skit about what's going to keep you warm, those degrees, and I was like, damn, you know what? That's a great point. It ain't just about the degree. I gotta have something that actually transfer, like. So I'm gonna exit this conversation.
That's like,
No.
But like,
Y'all gotta.
Because
how you describing Kanye is how I felt about J. Cole. Like I guess I still love J. Cole, but not the same way I did. But I was a J. Cole. I love J. Cole. I love J. Cole. I am, when they be stereotyping what his fan base is, that's me, right? Like I love him. And then in law school, I met him one night at the meatpacking district. Y'all don't understand. Let me tell you, I don't
Did he
hail.
stink?
If I see a celebrity I don't say nothing to celebrities. Even celebrities follow me, I don't say nothing to you. I don't talk to you. People just break your heart. I don't stay over there.
True.
I was getting ready to leave the meatpacking district. I remember like it was yesterday. It was summer 2016. I was with my friend Jevy, and Jevy and I were literally getting in Uber. I got in Uber, and right then I see J. Cole, like, I can't remember if he was walking or riding by on a bicycle, but he was right there. I jump out. He was walking. I jump out the car. And I gasp. I gasp. This J. Cole gasp back at me. He goes, I gasp. He goes, and I go, can I get a picture? He goes, no. And walks off. I swear to God, walks off. 10 feet away and takes a picture with this Asian girl.
Nah, that's
That-
crazy.
swear
Nah,
to
that's
God.
crazy.
Swear to God.
Crazy.
Nope.
So
Swear to God.
Nope.
Gasp.
That's
No.
trauma.
Walks 10 feet away,
That's
takes a
a
picture with an Asian
traumatic-
girl
no,
while my
that's
friend laugh his ass off in the Uber. Like, he is laughing on Echo.
Have you told this story before?
I don't think so.
I don't believe it.
Aaron, 9x16 is J. Cole. We need 9x16 is for TikTok. J. Cole need to hear this story.
Yeah. This got to get back to him.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Take it into a
I'm
verse.
sorry that happened to you. Like, no, but my problematic person is, and no, J. Cole's, I don't think, no,
I didn't
he's,
listen to his next album
he's
after
a
that.
no, he was terrible. He wasn't
I swear to
problematic.
God.
You cut him
For your
off
eyes
for a
only or whatever. I
You
never heard
cut
that
him
shit.
off for a reason. He tried it. But y'all, my problematic person is, and Ernest, I was just talking about him, not Kanye, but I had every single album from that man R. Kelly. And I'm not saying that I listen to him anymore, but stuff like I Be Out. You know how they do
But are you saying that you don't?
just listen to what I'm trying to get at. Okay. When I go out to you know how they got the early vibes, right? When you go out to the grown folks spot, I'm 30 plus. I like to have a drink by the bar a little bit before I two-step and leave. And so they'll be like playing music, and the next thing you know, you
Rebecca,
hear
where you
"That's
going?
the
But
name
they
of
still
love."
playing R. Kelly.
And then
That
I be
in and
trying
of itself Is
don't
how I
want
know
to
you
do that.
belong to a
But my
problematic
foot,
brigade.
I have to catch myself because next thing you know, I'm having a drink and next thing you know, like step. So I said, in
Yeah,
the
you can't.
name of Jesus, we're not doing this. Like, get that off of me. Get that off of me. All
I
right.
Nah, you
genuinely
can't
think
snap in the
the
name of love
only
and Big
kind of
25, yo.
people the kind of people that will play R. Kelly shamelessly from a speaker in an establishment in the present day of our Lord, those ain't people you're supposed to be around. Those are killers.
Yeah, no,
You need to get around with those. Those people are scared of
You
nothing.
gotta
They
feel
don't give a
conviction.
fuck
Yeah.
You gotta
about.
feel conviction. You gotta feel conviction.
It's because
You gotta
based
feel
on
Rebecca,
based on what
you
he's
So what you're
done.
saying is that R. Kelly is your problematic fave.
No.
Yeah,
I
he's
That's
hurting
because
with
that's the
everybody.
conversation that we had,
Yeah.
So,
Rebecca.
did y'all see the video when he was singing "Happy Birthday" to somebody from jail
It was
recently?
terrible. Yeah, from the phone.
Yes,
He was doing work for himself.
I didn't watch it. Was it good though? Did he sound good?
It was like a 40-year-old black woman. She was like, "Oh yes, thank you, Kels." And then
And
he
he was
started
like, "Happy
singing,
birthday," and I'm like, "It's not."
and she started crying. It was like, that's Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca, I got you for your birthday, Clint.
Don't play with
I
me.
got you.
I
And
got
my
you for
birthday
your
is on the
birthday.
15th of May, which is funny, but don't play with me.
R. Kelly. So R. Kelly is your problematic fave. Is what
No,
you
actually, my problematic fave was Nicki Minaj.
Oh, okay.
Nah.
R.
terrible
Kelly,
too.
somebody I had to let go of. He was my fave, but I can't listen to him
Because
anymore.
you watch
without thinking.
Surviving R. Kelly?
Do I what?
Did you watch Surviving R. Kelly?
I watched Surviving R. Kelly, but that's not what stopped me. Before the allegations, before
That ain't what stopped you.
No, that's not what
some
stopped
folks
me.
already.
Before that, I was already in the hell nah, because I had to battle out people in my circle about that because they
I
wanted to
watched
still listen
Surviving
to
R.
him.
Kelly and I called my mommy to curse out. Like I'm telling you, I remember watching the first episode, clicking hitting pause, calling my mommy like, you see, I was the youth, but you was an old dumb bitch. That's what I'm learning.
Oh my
Yo,
god!
it's because
Like that's
it's because that
no,
shit.
I remember it like it was. You don't understand how many times I love my mommy, and she always feel like she getting talked bad about on the internet. But listen, every time I think of my mommy's take, when I think of the problematic black men throughout my youth, my mommy was in 4K being part of the problem.
I got it.
I remember my mommy in the house telling me that little girl fresh.
Right? No, that's actually no.
I
That's literally a take.
remember it.
That was not only your mommy, that was a lot of people's moms. That was even a lot of people in the beginning saying, oh, she must be hot. She must be whatever. As soon as I realized when I got a little older, I was in college and I'm like, you know, maybe this is a little after college for me because I was still trying to hold on. And I'm like, Aaliyah was 15.
My mommy
14,
stayed.
Yeah.
My mommy told me that like that was a piece of trivia. Like it wasn't. I swear to God, I called her. I said, I remember you. I said, you know what's f***ed up about this as I'm watching this? You knew this then.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me
Absolutely.
that he was married to Aaliyah. So you knew.
Yeah.
And that was the same time you made me stay up all night in the second grade to record the R. Kelly Ignition remix music video. So you are a criminal, mommy.
Yeah.
You are a part of the
He
problem.
was a song for her to sing, bro. I can never hear that. Like, age ain't nothing but that's so crazy.
Bro, listen, the shit with R. Kelly,
crazy.
it's just, that's the thing. It's like, if the shit that he did like recontextualizes all that shit. So it's like, he was talking about, bro, like I tried to listen to 2001 by Dr. Dre with a younger sibling, and Explosive came on and Corrupt's verse started. Don't tease, bitch. Strip tease, bitch. Eat a bowl of these, bitch. Gobble a dick. I was like, okay, well,
Yep.
let's go ahead and
Yeah.
next.
You know what my problem? No, I could say that Chris Brown. Then I'm gonna tell you guys, I was so obsessed.
Oh, they gonna eat you the up in these comments.
I know, so I'm
gonna
be
have
clear.
to edit these out because I love you.
No, but Chris Brown was because I really, really loved Chris Brown as a child. You know, he came out with me. His birthday, you know, it was May 5th. You know, I used to be like, my birthday's May 15th. We gonna fall in love. You know, you're a child. I mean, my Haitian mother buy me this J14
Chris Brown was
magazine.
your childhood crush.
Yes, and he was light skinned, and I had a thing
me
about myself when I was little. See, this is the whole thing where I got to get a light skin you know, because whatever, until FAMU changed my life. But, you know,
Look,
he
Rainey.
literally, my cousin brought me to his concert.
Is Rebecca not
That's
seeing
when
it?
I found out that he was dating Rihanna. I was 16, 17. And I was like, oh, she stole my man. Whatever, right? Then I get to college and then he fights her, right?
Yeah.
Abuse. And I was like, it's totally wrong what he did. But I said that on the outside at school. Came back in my home and I was talking to the girls and I'm like, this was problematic because, and I'm saying this out loud, the household that I came from was abusive. Love my parents, mean it, but I did come from an abusive household and that abuse was normalized. But I'm in there like, well, what did she do wrong? Like, how did they get there? And me to say that as an 18-year-old was crazy business. But I got myself together because, you know, in the future, I would then go and be in some kind of situation of that nature, but understand it from that point. I was literally taught to think that way. Abuse, you know, is both hands. I mean, it can be, but it's literally what happened, what she do. But that was
So
because
when
I
did
had
you
this
let go of Chris Brown?
I had this weird obsession with Chris Brown that he could do no wrong. He couldn't do no wrong, no nothing. Now, when I see people get upset, and I'm like, this is the same man that broke up with Karrueche, then threw her name in a song to try to get her back, then was dating them both and made a whole video about dating them both. Like, I'm like, this man got a problem. He's problematic. And, you know, I'm like, he got a daughter, the way he treated the daughter's mom at one point, all of the stuff that he's come out with, he's problematic. But it didn't take me until then. I got to be clear. It didn't take me until then to have that, you know, that light flash. But I was like, as a young teenager with no experience, with no nothing, and only what I know, I literally was like, well, what did she do, guys? I mean, we don't know, you know, the
When
other
you,
side.
so what you're saying is
And
you don't fuck with Chris Brown present day, 2025.
present day.
Because that doing stadium tours right now.
I know.
Are you sure you ain't got a ticket?
I know.
You sure?
Nah, f that. Hey, Rebecca, go to the
Yo,
Chris
you know-
Brown show. I'm stepping. What's up?
Fuck
Fuck is you talking about? I'm right. You know what I mean? You know what I
You're
mean?
right. But I do believe in, and let's be clear. Let's be clear. Somebody will say I believe in forgiveness. I do, because people do wrong. They can change. They can whatever. But like I said, I saw patterns in this person's behavior so much along the lines that I'm like, I can't. What am I going to make excuses for here? And also the latest albums and stuff like that. I don't know any of those songs.
Quick question.
What?
Loyalty come on right now. What you doing?
I'm walking away.
Hey, see, that's
I'm
the
walking
thing.
away.
That's the thing. Going back to Kanye, you cannot.
All of this was made because this will have everybody.
If me and Rebecca went to, oh, my fault. Go ahead, bro. But I wait real quick.
Bro, like, for real, growing up in the mid 2000s, bro, we was going so hard. Y'all got to understand, y'all Northeast New York, Philly, y'all don't know what it's like. Chicago was always overlooked, bro. Common was out. Nobody was messing with Common on the national stage. Twister was out. Nobody was.
He's a problematic.
Why so many
You-
crazy
I
niggas
like
from
Common.
Chicago? Let's talk about that. We got Nazis and rapists inside Chicago. Let's talk
Hey.
about. Look at y'all two exports. Look at the exports coming
I
out
was
of
like,
that
did
city,
you call
y'all.
Common problematic? I like Common.
Hey,
No, I said no. I love him, but he's
No, I was
problematic.
like-
Look how he do them women. Let's be for real.
Okay, let me just. I was having this fight with
But what did
somebody.
he-
Somebody
maybe
don't
just
like.
a
Somebody who
relationship
don't like it. Be like, you
site.
talk about Kanye, and then we go back to Common because I'm prepared to defend Common.
I love Common. He fine. He like you were
It's
saying.
fine,
Dom,
ass.
he
I'm
can get it
prepared. I am
tomorrow.
prepared to defend Common.
Yo, so
And I'm
He
prepared
light-skinned
to date
too. He
women
was
who
your
keep
type at
dating
this
him,
point.
despite I am. I understand.
wait, hold on. So
I understand. I'm not a lying bitch. If I like in a different world, not this world, I have my beloved, but in a different world, in a single world prior to, if Common tried to holler at me, immediate. I don't give a
No,
fuck what
Common
none
getting
of y'all
it.
talking
I
about.
didn't say
I
I'm not
wouldn't.
giving it up.
I wouldn't hesitate. I
However,
not my ankle trying to.
now Rebecca said it.
Common
Rebecca
playing
said
with
if
these
we
girls.
was 17, I have to holler at her like, I think I say yeah.
To this day, I crump. To this day, when they play,
Nah.
Not to this day, I crump.
To this day,
You cry when he
it's like,
died and stopped
I
the
was
yard?
one of
Let me
those
know. Keep it a
people that
buck.
would do it
Columbus
everywhere all the
short was
time.
fine as
Yeah,
hell.
yeah.
Columbus short being not
Oh,
well,
absolutely
not
not.
well, and his life is the created the most
It made
unfortunate.
him
He
look
fine.
visually a mess.
Yeah.
It made him like, to me, when you when stuff start happening in your life, and you just not a good person, or you are leaning in to the problems, it starts to. Trey Songz never been fine to me again. Never.
So
never
I was actually going to bring up Trey Songz because I was going to say, speaking of problematic people, I think Trey Songz has been, you wonder like how Trey Songz is still being able to do all these things, even though Trey Songz have the craziest allegations or reputation. But the other day, I was at a listening party in New York for at a studio for HD Ben Dope, who signed to, I think, Jay-Z, and who's real dope. But anyway, I was at the studio for his listening party, and all around his entire walls of the studio was nothing but platinum Trey Songz plaques.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, other artists like sprinkled in, but it was just Trey Songz. I said, this right here, I saw it and I was like, I physically now know why Trey Songz is getting all his shit off. Like, this is what we're not seeing.
I know from every song from Trey Songz. I know every song from like people like R. Kelly. Unfortunately, I know all of their songs. However,
Can he drop her?
This right here is a penny.
What y'all know about watching? What y'all know about when he used to watch?
Yo, that's what I'm saying, bro. Listen, I had to let go of Trey for all those reasons, but it's like the Winter Soldier. It's like a code in my head. As soon as I hear that, cut that cane, I'm like, oh, God damn.
I'd be confused because, like, when I think of Trey Songz, my first thought of him is still always him, like, on the porch, like, just gotta make it Trey Songz. It would be so interesting how, like, the original branding was such a, like, humble. I want this thing to make it. Like, that's how and so I'd be like, damn, that's so crazy where we're at now.
I love that. All I got is $1 in a dream. Is you going? I'm like, yes, I'm rolling on the bus, baby. Where we going? Like, humility.
I remember that Boondocks episode with R. Kelly.
Oh my God, please.
Of course.
Yes. That's our relationship with a lot of our entertainers. Yeah. Like we know they did something, but as soon as they start crooning, my man said he was a Pied Piper, bro. He was just
in the courthouse, in the Boondocks. He started singing.
In real life, he was wearing the mask in videos.
Yeah.
He was calling himself the Pied Piper.
He was doing the only thing from R. Kelly. Man.
The only thing from R. Kelly that I truly have a hard time letting go and is Trapped in the Closet. And I don't care how y'all feel. Me and my sisters, we are trapped in the closet playing you want to talk something that play in the Bahamas, like Bahamians play that at the family reunion. Just put it on the TV for the family reunion. Like me and my sisters would perform the entire Trapped in the Closet every time we see each other, like that, and Busted by the Isley Brothers. That's our shit.
Oh man,
bro! Trapped in the Closet is the original Lord of the Rings. That's the original Black fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Right there. That's the original Black high art, high fantasy. Just Trapped in a Closet.
I would like to propose y'all a question.
Yes, sir.
There has been rumbles in my community whether or not we should watch Trapped in the Closet, the whole series. Because a lot of these kids are young, and I'm like, I don't think we should. But is it worth teaching the kids? He was a bad man, but also Scott's he kind of cooked with this shit.
This is how I personally
y'all can't get away with that because that's literally like
I saw them using the Trapped in the Closet sound as a TikTok audio.
They use it on TikTok.
I'm like, if you listen to Trapped in the Closet publicly,
they're using some of the tracks from Chocolate Factory. They using some of the like they are still using and they're going.
Let me tell you why I think it's okay in the sense of let me tell you why I think so. First of all, I want to let the record reflect. While I am a progressive and a leftist and all this, I am a criminal defense attorney. So I always hate on the internet, like, let's not get the impression I don't get off for doing many of the things want me to pretend like I find them unimpeachable for the internet. Like, I have to say that. That doesn't apply to R. Kelly though. R. Kelly is a who like
bad man.
Yeah. Like justice will never be served until they shoot R. Kelly in open court. But let me tell you why I think specifically. So I don't generally subscribe to the idea that you have to disengage from the art of every bad or problematic like artist. In the case of R. Kelly, why I thought it was necessary when they started the R. Kelly, like, getting rid of all this movie was because at the time, R. Kelly was a free using all the money he earned to run like an operation to keep bitches hemmed up. Like R. Kelly was really true. We were truly financing R. Kelly's operation. Mm-hmm. R. Kelly ain't never seen the light of day again. Like nothing.
What about Diddy?
Nothing we do. And I'm like, I don't know, but that YouTube ad revenue from Trapped in the Closet, like that ain't keep out.
It's not even gonna be his channel. I'm
you don't even watch it from his channel. Yeah, let's just.
There's
y'all can tell me in the
re-recording.
comments, but I think you should be able to watch Trapped in the Closet and break that down for jokes. Because Trapped in the Closet is some funny shit.
No, it's and he
That's
and
something
that's
like
the
for
thing, he
comedic
was a
purposes.
comedian too. He had this comedic aspect that he can do in these videos. He pulled people from old school, from new school. He was remixing. So when he was saying he was the Pied Piper, which is terrible, and I used to be like Pied Piper R&B, y'all. I knew it all. I knew all the ad libs and all that stuff. But he really was that much. Like there are songs that are outside the R&B genre that he has written. Like that man is in everything, gospel, country, and like everything.
Rebecca, I gotta help you before they getting ready to hands on
No.
I'm gonna, right
I
now,
ain't
but
fucking
we
with him.
praising
I
R.
ain't fucking
Kelly.
with him. That's period. But I will say, like,
You can't erase you can't erase folks' memory. We was waiting by the radio like it was the 1920s, like for the next one, especially in Chicago. We was waiting like, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? You know what I'm saying? Like
Nazis and rapists. That's your export.
I got it, man.
Chicago.
R. Kelly and Kanye, that's both on the above.
It's so hard. I got to defend my city. It's so hard, but like two of the greatest artists, and then the equivalent of what they actually did is.
Listen, I feel you, bro. Every time Meek drop a tweet, I'm on the timeline like, no, my go autistic, bro. It's like, nah, bro. It's the water in the scoop kill, bro.
It's ever since the fries on the legs, I'm like, yo. Ever since the fries on the legs in the pool, I'm like, what synapses fired off to lead to this decision right here?
Why he take the flick of it? That's the part that
It's in his head.
Yo,
but Kanye's different though. Like I could give Meek a little bit, but Kanye's different. He's online talking about how he was touching his cousin. He's talking about his children's mama. He's doing all of this stuff in real time. He's talking about Nazis wearing a black KKK hoodie. It's just too much for me.
How much sanity do we think is there?
Yeah.
I think my personal opinion on Kanye, I think that I described it on my stream the other day. I think that we all know it's bad to laugh at the crazy guy in the corner who's like yelling stuff. We're like, this is unethical. Like this guy obviously needs help, but doesn't have the resources to get the help. Kanye is the ethical version of doing that. He's the crazy guy in the corner that we can laugh at because he says wild stuff, but we know he has the resources to get the help if he wanted to, but he don't. So now we get to laugh at him. Every time Kanye says something, I'm like, yes, this guy's losing his mind. I love every second of it. I feel bad when I see, like, I'm from Philly. I mean, I see him like slumped out. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. This open air drug market is killing these people. We need to, something need to do something. But Kanye, I'm just like, yeah, no, he's just giving you money. Yeah, I love laughing at Kanye. I have no issue being like, this is the best thing to ever happen to us as a society.
My take is
propagandist in a way that always like gets left out of the conversation. Like in the most recent, with Kanye's when he came up with the song Cousins and he made the tweets about him and his cousin. You need to be thrown under the fucking jail.
Please.
And I say that as an abolitionist, put you under the jail.
You need to leave.
You get you out of here.
He said, I gave my cousin.
I never heard it.
All right, Dom, come on, man.
Dom, like.
Bro, I do a stream. People tell me to rap and stuff. I don't know.
Turn your internet search history over. Like, what are you doing?
We really do.
I have brain rot, y'all. I'm the brain rot general.
Officers, he's right here.
I genuinely think that those, like, everything Kanye has done in the last, like, at least 5 years, but more than that, has been very designed to push, like, right-wing Christian propaganda. And you can't convince me that him trying to pin pornography, bringing up pornography for why he was molested, somebody who's been openly homophobic and nothing on right-wing Christian yada 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 agenda suddenly brings up pornography to be like, oh, pornography caused me to molest my I was seeing these images and that's the reason why I engaged in a homosexual relationship with my cousin and molested him. That is a twisted way of what they're gonna blame, of them feeding into their overall larger arguments that it's indoctrination and people. Because think about it, he also recently was in a magazine running on about how Kim's family leave porn like vintage Playboys around and porn, like where it's accessible to his kids. I'm telling you, that fool is tying it into a larger crazy argument where he's standing to say, I'm protecting my children because this is what happened to me because of pornography and yada 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 and LGBT this and that, and now look at what Kim and them. That's what he's doing. That's what he's saying.
People aren't people
but I think people that it's probably some of that, but we also like can't control when people ready to talk about their trauma. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like I understand like this, like it's a literal cult. The shit he was doing in like Washington or whatever the fuck it was, the Sunday service shit was weird. Like shit was scary as hell. Like it was very, 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 very Anglo-Saxon coded. So I see where you're coming from with that type of, but at the same time, it's like, it's like to Ernest's point earlier, like tying it back to football and shit. I feel like a lot of like black boys don't get to be boys for long. So they're like, you know what I mean? So I don't necessarily want to, I don't want to make Kanye out to be this evil genius that has this sort of like grand plan, you know?
Open right wing. It's not, he does have though. It's not like a grand plan, like a secret plan. He openly tells us what views he supports now, what he espouses, where he is, what he wants. Like we can't, like we do this thing with Kanye where we act like Kanye things that he's doing happen in incidents. Like the incidents, like when it happens, like when we talk about it, that was when it happened and it's done and it's over. Kanye is still doing religious cult shit.
Yeah.
Kanye is still very much so on the right, still preaching Hitler this, still doing all the nothing that Kanye's done. And all of these things are connected. They're not happening in a vacuum. So it's not like, oh, these things that happened and that have been Kanye then, and now we've got a sober Kanye talking about trauma. We have a Kanye that is still actively on a press run where he's tying that into why he wants to take his children and yada, 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 and this and the next thing. So it's not me unwilling to believe that, trauma, these discussions. Is me recognizing that everything Kanye has done has been insincere and tied to a larger thing. So I'm not even personally convinced. And I'm not personally convinced that what Kanye or anything Kanye tells us is to be taken as like truth or Bible or him really even exercise. It could be something that really happened, but it could just be one of a million things Kanye says that's untrue and outlandish and tied to a larger point Kanye thinks he's trying to make. So it's hard for me to take, you're discussing your trauma when it's also wrapped in, I'm gonna put a fucking swastika on the cover or whatever the else he did with it. And all this and these other things. Like that to me, everything Kanye has done has been on right-wing Christian propaganda. And he makes sure it's still tied to it. Like in case you forget, don't let you think that this cousin's work is a standalone where I'm talking about my trauma. Let me make sure I still have the swastika and stuff there so you see you get it.
No, yeah. So of course.
But I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah, of course. Right. He's also not well. You know what I mean? Like the motherfucker is very public about being like off the Lexapro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
well, he says now, he's saying he now denies any. He says, I'm not bipolar. I'm not anything. They misdiagnosed me. I'm autistic.
Right. So, but you see what I'm saying though? It's this like flip. Okay. Kanye West is Azalea Banks for straight men. Kanye West is Azalea Banks for straight men, where there will be a gem of truth or a gem of sincerity in an ocean of bullshit. And like, and it's like, it's hard to have a conversation about because like, what's the first thing we did? Like even Dom did the shit 2 minutes ago where he's like, yo, that shit hard. Like, it's like, we don't even take the shit. Like, there's so much other shit, like the swastikas, the right-wing propaganda, the Anglo
White Lives Matter,
the White Lives Matter shit, the Christo-fascist regime. Like, there's so much of that we ignore. Like this very real, like, yo, these two little boys were surrounded by this thing. Like one issue don't make the other thing a non-issue.
But we don't even know if that is true. What we do know is that you're giving us an ocean of bullshit, and that ocean of what we're calling an ocean of bullshit is all right-wing propaganda and extremism. That's what Kanye be giving us. So it's like, how do we ignore that, decide that's ocean of bullshit, and then pick the thing that allows us to humanize Kanye and say like, oh, that's where the truth is. Like my problem, I had this conversation with Godfrey about in relation to Jaguar Wright. It's like my problem with Black people sometimes is we see that someone is spewing the whole thing about credibility is when someone is spewing a bunch of bullshit. It's not supposed to be your job to go through and like try and figure out parts through what is true. It's supposed to cast the credibility on this person to question, period. All of this is supposed to, and then you look at it in the totality of what it's like placed in the context of what Kanye is doing. So I'm like, it's hard to like, how do we know that Kanye, that this is even something that truly happened, when it's also mixed, while at the same time everybody like, oh yeah, he's not really a white supremacist, he's not really, you know, a Nazi, he's not really this, he's not really that, he's not really this, but he is really a victim. Oh, he is really going through trauma. The only things that we're ever prepared to accept as truth are the things that allow us to humanize Kanye and look at it in the light most favorable to him.
Here's what I say. I think that Kanye is everything that he said he is, but I don't like giving him credit for being a propagandist. I don't think he is smart enough or a good enough disseminator of ideas to ever propagandize any ideas. Here's what I truly think about Kanye. Kanye see shit, be like, I think it's cool, I am that. He just finds new labels to put on himself. There's no further thought than I like the word Nazi. There's no further thought than Hitler has swag. There's no further thought than I gave my cousin head. There's no real shit. I don't think it's like to call him a propagandist. There has to be some intentionality behind it. Like, he's doing these things to sell his own stuff. But I don't think those people on the right actually see Kanye as a tool inside their toolbox. I think
1000% do.
No, here's why. He's too much of a wild card, and they know that. They know that they can parade him around every now and then, but then it's like, all right, monkey, go shut back up, go back in your cage, because he's not a reliable source for anything. Because the moment he starts talking, you don't know where it's going to go, and that's why he's ineffective as a communicator.
They don't need it to be. I think, like, first of all, this is something people do. What we're doing on Kanye right now is what we do with Donald Trump. Like, whenever you try to tell people, it was like that even leading up to even after the first administration and the second presidential run, even in his third one, nobody wanted to believe, like, no, he's not smart enough. I don't believe Donald Trump's really doing that. I don't believe Donald Trump's doing all those things. I believe he's just like dumb. No one wants to believe that there is an intentionality. People who are up and who have up views, or who are tools that are operating at the level they are, don't operate alone. It's not about what Donald Trump himself has the intelligence to do. It's about the entire apparatus behind him. It's not just about, first of all, it's not just about what Kanye is doing or what Kanye thinks or what his ability. These people take it and run with it. It's a pass the baton. Mm-hmm. They take it and they twist it. It's the other agents of right-wing supremacy that take it and manipulate it to what they want to do with it.
And I think
I agree on the... Hold on, let me go fast, and then I'll let you go. I agree on the Trump point, because Trump had like actual people in office, but like he had a team around him that was like, you're our mouthpiece, you're going to say the things, but he had actual like guys behind him. You want to know who's surrounding Kanye right now? Digital Nas. He's a producer that made beats. Kanye does not have the team to put together any effective messaging. That's why Kanye could come out in one day and be like,
Kanye's
hey, y'all are Nazi.
Right-wing tour. Remember when he was going all around
excuse me, I'm sorry,
on Alex Jones and all these people and yada yada. This is a man who, like, what he gave like Charlie Kirk and them money and stuff like that. He was working with doing stuff with Candace Owens. Yeah. He didn't just pop out in that White Lives Matter shirt. He is very much so connected to a bunch of people doing this right-wing propaganda. This is not just coming out of a vacuum. This is not just conveniently getting all the no-fault divorce talking points and all the shit that the right is running on with on that side. And also, you got to remember, they like crazy over there. Have you ever seen what the characters that they listen to and look to, who popular on YouTube and Twitch and all they crazy outlets and they rumbles? Crazy people.
Especially if they're black, Rom. Listen, you said that his messaging has never been effective. That's a lie. Especially a few years ago. I can even go this is the same man that had already said that, slavery was a choice. We had that out there already.
Was that effective?
After slavery was a choice, he made a gospel album. Okay. It was the number one album. And then he left that and started doing some alternative music, because I don't know if I can call it hip hop, but I'm not that much of a head to be like, judging that. But he started doing that, and people were so like, dang, he's like, dang, he back. He's artistry. Y'all gotta.
But messaging in music is different.
No, even the messaging that he was doing while he was pushing and promoting his album and all those other things, everything was effective enough to get bodies into the seats of those places.
Yeah, for music though, but we talking about
it's people who are literally just His messaging is also effective if we're going to move the music to the side.
Most of where people are getting politicized and propagandized is not from politics.
You were saying that the right is crazy. Most of Donald Trump, most of Kanye West's talking points were so bad that they were able to use those talking points to push their whatever narrative or rhetoric that they had about black people. And it was so effective that they would say, look, Kanye said it, and he's a black man. And all of those white people would eat it up and do what? Like you were saying, flip it and reverse it. That's what they were doing over there on the right with Kanye's rhetoric. That was all lies about black people, but he became their black voice when it came to pushing the narrative.
Don, what you were
Let
saying?
me be clear on my stance here. My stance is not in one of supporting Kanye. My stance is one of Kanye is a nuisance and should be
crazy talk.
Yeah. He's a nuisance and should be treated as such. Us having these conversations about Kanye validates his opinions to the right. The fact that he's able, because at best, he's an agitator. At worst, he's a nuisance. Like what he's doing right now is agitating us. The fact that he's able to, I think that's as a tool for the right, he's able to get under our skin and kind of get these talking points to us. But I think that we talk about politicizing young men. I think Destiny is a way better tool for
Destiny, the streamer guy, yeah.
Yeah, Destiny, Asmon Gold. These people are way better tools for propaganda for the right than Kanye will ever be, because a lot of what the right believe in, we talking about just like morals, is like they believe in like facts, no fiction. It's like cold cut, telling you the truth. Nobody's above the law, bullshit. Kanye is too much of a wild card to ever fall into. That's why people like Destiny. He's like
they
he's
don't
a fucking
believe that
Wikipedia
for real,
debater.
Dom.
I know they don't believe that.
Most of where you get fed and politicized and propagandized into right-wing thinking is when no one is telling you that it's right-wing thinking. It's not in the political content or the people who present that to you. And in terms of Kanye is like what Candace Owens and all these people are. The majority of people who watch them are not black people. We are talking about them and we're thinking about whatever, but like what they're there to serve is not for us. It's not to agitate us. It's not to bring us in. It's not to reach us at all. Derek Bell, father of critical race theory, he has a book called Faces at the Bottom of the Well, where he talks about what he calls rules of racial standing. And it's where black people, the only time expertise for black people are never considered experts when it comes to race or the black experience or anything like that. The only time black people are given an expertise is when they are speaking against the group, when they get to be the black person that disagrees with us. It goes, oh no, that's not this, that's not that. And they're not there for us. They're there for white people, white America, to show to other white people, for them to have a cover, a shield, to say, oh, I'm not racist. It's for them. It's purely for them to say this black person said it. It's never for us. It's never for us. So that's what Kanye and all of these people, that is what they serve. They serve as, and you know it because you see these people and you hear these people for as much and as up as we know slavery as a choice is in the beginning of this kind of, spiral from Kanye. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people trying to like read nuance into it and be like, oh, you don't get what he was trying to say, what he was really trying to say.
Yeah,
and
I'm not doing
spending this time because they love this person so much and they've held him on this pedestal that he's a genius or whatever for so long. So they spend all this extra time trying to read sense, try to read something into or whatever, what he's saying or whatever in order to keep him. So that's how Kanye is used.
Yeah, so two things real quick. One, I'm not sure how much I buy into the Trump comparison, because Trump is a well-off white billionaire who spent that entire first term stacking the courts so he could do the shit he's doing now. Kanye is a black man from Chicago who spent 2016 doing nitrous with Playboy Cardi. So it's just too. I just feel like it's too. I just feel like it's too different to draw that. You know what I mean?
It's because you're not, because in my analogy, Donald Trump is a puppet. Donald Trump is not. First of all, Donald Trump is not the president. We have the shadow president is Elon Musk and the powers and the niggas behind Project 2025.
Yeah, for sure.
So. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not, I don't mean, it is not supposed to be in, apples to apples or whatever. But what it means is it's not about their inherent intelligence or whatever it is about where they're positioned. I want to remind y'all, Donald Trump originally started out, Donald Trump was a ridiculous, fringe, crazy celebrity character
a joke
with billions. The same way, who he is now, you see what I'm saying? Like, we're seeing Donald Trump like, oh, it's the president. You make this comparison. That was not what Donald Trump was. Donald Trump was a wacky ass billionaire celebrity surrounded by powerful people and money and access or whatever, and pushing towards an agenda, and became radically more got this way
That's
because of
interesting.
what served his interest, which is similar to Kanye in that respect. But I don't mean it to mean these exact comparisons. I just mean in how people are used, regardless of whether or not they have the wherewithal to come up with the entire operation or the entire plan. Just that there are other people involved in it. Kanye, every time Kanye tells us exactly about the that he's working with, who he's mad ain't working with him. This is somebody giving tens of thousands of dollars over to Charlie Kirk, over to these right wing, One USA, showing up on Alex Jones, all these places. So it is not him showing up with Candace Owens, doing combined creating shit with her. This is not somebody just working alone, just spewing his right-wing propaganda in a vacuum in the air. This is somebody who's actively hanging out with these people, meeting with these people, talking with these people, and coming up with how he is talking to the public.
Yeah, and then the second thing,
I see what you're saying.
I have two sons. So to Olay's point, like I think Dom, because you were saying like, oh, but that's the music, and I to Olay's point, like when no, like there's no, you know, the right is not gonna like physically show up to your house with pamphlets. They're gonna drop like breadcrumbs. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it's the music, but like I have two kids, right? And like my sons, like they like watching like Minecraft videos and shit like that. And they're these two little white boys that they watch. I forget their name, but who cares? Like they were watching this video, and like these like these streamer guys were playing on PC on Minecraft. So you can add modifications. You can put mods on it. And there was this one mod that made you swing the pickaxe really, really fast. And one of these little white boys was like, "Oh, look, they got the check this out. I got the Mexican mod." And they said it, but they said it and then just moved on. Yo, check this out. I got the Mexican mod. Oh my God. And it's like the pickaxe is going really fast. My kids, like they're 5 and 7. Like they don't understand why that's some bullshit. But I had to be like, whoa, hold on. Yeah, so I don't want you watching these guys anymore. And then, but they were genuinely confused. They're like, what did he say wrong? Like that's how that works. It's like just a real life example. Like I'm literally like that's why I sit here and I watch that shit with them, because I'm like, I'm not playing these games with these. You know what I mean? With these guys, like, nah. And at 5 and 7, I had to tell, like, there was no way around it. I was just like, yo, the way they're talking right now is called propaganda. What's propaganda? Oh, cool. Let me you know what I mean? And then, yeah. So to end that point, it's like, it's never going to be in your like it's never, all that shit is connected to Olay's point, because it's like
the worst way to advertise it, right? When it's right in your face, they find ways to code it. Like I think of intention versus impact. You know, it don't matter if it was intentional. The impact is there. I was in a class when a lot of this stuff was happening. I'm a history teacher. While he talking about slavery as a choice, I had to frame lessons. Like we talking about slavery. Okay, let me start with Kanye's quote so y'all be more interested. And let's talk about why it wasn't actually a choice. You know what I'm saying? And look at what Van was saying in opposition. And then he says Harriet Tubman ran us to slave another form. Like it was a bunch of crazy stuff. Like and for me, what it appeared, having seen this evolution from the point where he was going, and I don't even mean, I mean the way he changed over time, from the time when he was putting out mixtapes as a hungry artist coming up. He like attention is the currency in America. Yeah. And he was not able, like he had so much potential as a social commentator. George Bush don't care about black people, like all of this bold stuff to where he is now. Like he to me, it's a story of someone in our society, black person society, getting wrapped up in what capitalism can do. He's at a space now that ain't too many people that can relate. And the ones that can are quieter in the background. Yeah. A black male billionaire from the south side of Chicago. He has lost it. And he is doing anything he can to maintain relevant, to be relevant, to get attention. And you know those people in y'all circle of people that you know of that are addicted to being the contrarian. They just want to say something that you see, like you said, the people who really support him still is like, no, he got a point, bro. Because even with all the Nazi stuff he support, he did say Hitler. Come on, man. Yeah. I think Damon Wayans recently said it good. He was like, I love Kanye, but what he's doing is wild. I don't listen to the homeless man yelling stuff and think, oh, he means that. That's when you need an uncle. I mean, I've known people that know him, and I've seen some of the commentary they say like, it ain't just as simple too of even like, yo, we say something to him. We ain't yes man in his corner. He gonna do what he want to. He is a black billionaire who's cocky, who thinks the world belongs to him. Power. He wants what Trump had. He wasn't running for president to help nobody. He wants that power.
Yeah.
And for anybody, you know how, bro, he tells you he was running in those backpack spaces just because he wasn't really with the culture.
Yeah.
He's adapting and adjusting to whoever will accept him to his demise. And the brother ain't even hit 50 yet.
Yeah, and
this don't end well to me.
I imagine, Ernest, it's especially frustrating for you as a teacher when these kids show up to class like, hey, I know that you are professed in this and you went to school for this, but I like Kanye and he said this, and it's like, okay, it's like when
he gotta be right.
Yo, it's like when my kids, it's like I spend all day in here. Look at this room, purple as shit, pink as a motherfucker. I'm not teaching my sons, oh, this is for boys and this is for girls. You can't like pink. You can't like. All it takes is one snotty motherfucker on their little yard where they play at to undo every thing I spent the last 7 years teaching them, to be like, no, I can't use that cup, Dad. Why? Because my friend Tanner said it's for girls. I'm like, God damn it. Like here we go again. You know what I mean? So it's like, God.
Yeah, no, you're right, Rainey. And I think all it takes, and again, this is why I say that I know we may not look at it in the Black community as it's being effective because wherever circles that we are, but it's so effective in within the right. What Kanye says is effective with conservatives. What Kanye says is effective with those people who are looking for a Black voice to spew out their terrible rhetoric and let that stick so they can always say, like, oh, I got a Black friend. Kanye said it. Kanye is powerful to them. Kanye's the one saying the same hateful things. So if he's saying it, we can put that out there and let him be the poster child for this, and people will determine it as Bible and like a Bible verse, and they will stick to it. And I've seen that time and time again, especially during like so many times during the pandemic. Anything that would be said, they would run and find something because it was always available, honey. That's how much Kanye West would say. They would run and find something that Kanye said, post it, and let him be the one instead of them to say something that was so racist, but it came from a Black person. So they'll utilize that and let it go. And I would see the comments and it'll be white people saying, hell yeah, brother, like all this other stuff underneath it. But the amount of them, though, we're talking millions of people, not just a couple of thousand. It wasn't even ratioed where the comments and baby, they were all there pushing Kanye's rhetoric. And that's what we know. So it'd be effective for the right, and the right, we see the right ain't got to do nothing much to let their propaganda or their talking points or whatever be pushed out there, and people will believe it. They will literally follow each other off of a cliff. They will follow them over to scale the walls of the Capitol.
Kanye, I think, should understand, and this is for anybody that's following him. Like, we equate success with material gain so much in this country.
Yeah.
This is how I was taught. This is how but regardless of background, which you're taught, the success is the equivalent of this. You are literally, might be like the wealthiest entertainer right now, or was before the Adidas deal or whatever. And we believe that anything we can do to garner attention is necessary. Kids no longer just want to be athletes and entertainers. You know how we was growing up, it was hooping, football, maybe rapping, whatever. Like, now when you talk to kids, it's that, and it's, I want to be an influencer. I want to be a content creator. And and how do you garner that attention? By doing the wildest thing possible.
Yeah.
He is learning and has learned that, yes, you are a billionaire, Black man from Chicago in this country, but to them, you still a. He wants what they have, and that's the problem. As long as we keep viewing our success through what they give us or what they tell us, we will forever be unhappy. I don't envy that, man. Do you know how isolated and horrible that has to feel? I know we don't give a lot of pity for wealthy folks, and I get it, but it's like that. I want to be where I am. I don't want to be in that position. I don't want to have to keep chasing that carrot. But if we can't, and like my brother Rainey said, if we can't help our kids differentiate what that is and what that truly looks like and how harmful that is, then they continue to chase that, because all you got to do to get attention now is have this right here, record it, do something crazy, run somebody do a prank.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I want somebody to run down on me on some it's a prank shit so bad. So then I could just so I could up the ante on them and kidnap their entire family, and then be like,
you every day wishing in wood is hilarious.
It's a prank, bro. It's a prank.
Yeah.
I got your whole family tied up here. Don't worry, it's a prank. Like, what the fuck? What are we doing, yo?
Crazy, bro.
God damn.
Yo, how do we get to this serious?
I don't
How do
know
we?
because I went.
I have no idea, but
it
I'm gonna
got
let
crazy.
Dom have some final words.
Okay, just final words.
I
All
just got
right.
my thoughts.
I did write down thoughts. Here's what I think. I think I fundamentally disagree with how we view Kanye, and I think that's fine. To me, Kanye is not a serious person at all. He is literally the line for succession. You are not serious people, so I don't see him as a serious person. We said he's effective for the white people because we get to look at him because they get to be like, oh, a black person said it. But in my opinion, if we don't give him the social currency as like he one of us, then that is ineffective. Like, is
If that was the
Candace
case,
Owens?
they wouldn't keep their little legion of
No.
coons that they got.
They do because they think it's effective. It don't work because I don't think, in my opinion, I don't find
Coons are not
like
for us. Coons are not marketing.
That's
for
what
us.
I'm saying though.
But they're effective for the right, and the right is pretty powerful right now, sweetie. Like they.
But this is listen. Can
But,
I? May I finish, please?
let Dom finish. Dom disagrees
May
with
I
the overall
finish?
architecture of a coon's
No, go ahead,
purpose.
yeah.
We disagree about their
No,
job
I know.
description.
I have nothing to offer after this.
Yeah. I think. Listen, I don't respect coons, so to me it's ineffective. So I don't like. Oh, well, okay, cool. He's cooning. What the fuck I got to do with me and what we got going on over here? To me, I thought. Now we're seeing it now. A coon is meant to be like, well, I have a black friend, and that black friend is meant to be like. Is to influence other black people, but y'all telling me that
the coon is for
white
other
people
white
to be like
people that are gonna say that they're racist, and the coon is for
like,
white
this
people that
black
talk to the
person
white
that
people that
says it.
use coons. Ain't even talking to us. It's for other white people.
But hold on.
The other white
that
people who
logic
don't know how
still-
to defend against the point that something could be racist or anti-black, even when a black person, you know what I mean? If a black person co-signs it, it's for those white people. But proceed. I won't interrupt you, Mom, I promise.
No, you won't. You're lying. But I just don't think that holds up inside culture. That's all. You mean so Kanye? I don't give a fuck about it. Also, Ernest said something. What I thought he was like he wants the power, but at the end of the day, he's still a. And I think that's why he's ineffective to me, because at the end of the day, he's still a. To tie it back to Shador Sanders, you can have all the power in the world. You can be the most talented guy in the world. At the end of the day, the system gonna find a way to humble you because you are a still.
I have a video. I'm about to. I mean, I could tell y'all ain't seen it, but let me show y'all a particular clip from Kanye. Let me show you.
Not you.
It's 301, yo.
Kanye. I thought Don was gonna. Don.
I'm about to let y'all. You want to see this clip? You want to see this clip?
Come on, yo.
You wanna?
Okay.
Google said from 1 to 3, yo. It's 3 o'clock. What we doing here? I got a jam-packed day.
Listen, you watch this clip.
The whole 11 minutes?
With the position of the straight white male. And part of the reason why I empathize with that position is because I know that I'm headed to that position. And what position that is top power position.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you need.
You lost me when you said he was empathetic towards white males. Straight.
Yeah.
Immediately. He lost me too.
But that's why, to Ernest's point, this isn't even a recognize who's sitting down with the frustration, with the understanding that no matter what I'm gonna be, I'm still just a to them. This is a who is delusionally convinced himself that there is something he can do or attain that is going to, he believes he will be on the same level as them white people. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
He's a still.
You know what? Your Learnati verse is huge and always expanding. So let me tell you where to find everything. Subscribe to my main channel, Learnati, to find my Learnati productions, which are my long-form video essays, my deep dives, and my backlog of content like Iconic and Learnati joints are all on the main channel. Subscribe to my new channel, Learnati Politics, so you don't miss my interviews with Brad Lander and Zoran Mamdani, who are running for New York City mayor, as well as my State of the Union type addresses that I do with my O Squareds, and any explicitly political content I have planned for you going forward. Subscribe to Learnati Pop for all my TV and movie takes, reviews, and breakdowns. We have all the fun over there, and we also have a Patreon for Learnati Pop where you can get all the videos uncensored. Subscribe to Olay and Friends for my podcast, Olay and Friends. Subscribe to Learnati Bites if you want my takes but don't have an hour plus to spend. And last but not least, subscribe to my Substack, Learnati, for all my writing.